Tonight, I'm going to tell you 4 real stories sent in by people just like you. No ghosts, no demons, just ordinary people who came face to face with something far worse. Another human being who shouldn't have been there. These stories are true, and the scariest part? In every single one, we never find out who the intruder was. Let's begin with the first story, from a 10-year-old boy. He always had trouble sleeping. He'd toss and turn most nights in his bedroom, in a house surrounded by thick woods, basically the middle of nowhere. One night around 1 a.m., he woke up to a sound coming from under his bed. It sounded exactly like one of his cats scratching itself. Thump, thump, thump! He'd heard it 100 times before, so he didn't even look. He just turned over, facing the wall, whispered good night, and went back to sleep. But the next time he woke up, everything had changed. His blanket was pulled off, and standing over him was a man, slowly poking him with one finger. Not playfully, like a kid poking a friend. This was slow, curious, like he was testing what human skin felt like for the very first time. The boy froze. He thought he was dreaming and screamed at himself, "Wake up!" The man instantly dropped to the floor, lay down flat and closed his eyes, pretending to be asleep, or dead. That's when the boy realized this was real. He jumped over the man, ran to his parents' room, but something stopped him at the door. He convinced himself it was impossible. All doors and windows were locked every night. No one could have gotten in. So he went back alone to check the house. No broken windows, no forced doors, nothing. He turned on his bedroom light, looked under the bed, empty. Checked the windows, still locked. He climbed back into bed, turned on the TV to calm down, and lay facing away from the wall. As his eyes adjusted to the glow from the screen, he saw it. His closet door, which he always left wide open, was now slightly ajar. And inside, perfectly still, facing the wall, stood the man, waiting. The boy quietly slipped out, ran to his parents, and whispered, "There's someone in my closet." His dad grabbed a weapon and searched every inch of the house. Nothing. No one. But the next day, they discovered the spare house key their trusted neighbor kept. It was missing, and there were no signs of a break-in at her place either. They never found out who the man was, or how long he'd been coming into that room. Story number 2 comes from a girl deep in the Atlanta music scene back in 2012. She went to shows and festivals constantly, adding random people on Facebook left and right. One day she got a message from a guy named Eddie. Profile pic of an older guy with long, straggly hair. He asked if she was the girl who danced in a half circle around him at a local show and then twirled dreamily away. She didn't remember him at all, and he lived in a completely different state, so she laughed it off. But over the next few months, Eddie kept messaging, asking if she'd be at certain shows across the Southeast. She mostly ignored him, occasionally replied just to be polite. A year later, she and her friends drove 13 hours to a massive music festival, 40,000 people, in Arkansas. Late at night, sitting on a blanket watching a band, someone just plops down right next to her without asking. In the dark, he starts talking like they're old friends, referencing personal things from her Facebook. It was Eddie. He followed them around all night. They made excuses and eventually ditched him, taking a long detour back to their campsite just in case. The next day, in a completely different part of the huge venue, she spotted him standing alone by a tree, watching her with this weird, proud smile, like a father watching his kid perform, but way more sinister. They avoided him and never saw him again that weekend. Another year passed. She barely used Facebook anymore and had almost forgotten about him. One night, catching up with a friend, the topic came up. Curious, they scrolled through all the old unread messages. What they found made her blood run cold. Eddie had been buying tickets to shows in Atlanta, for both of them, asking where to pick her up, talking like they were in a full relationship, even though she hadn't replied in over a year. Shaken, they decided to go out for drinks to forget about it. They walked into their favorite small bar in Edgewood, and there he was, sitting alone at the end of the bar. The second he saw her, his face lit up. He waved her over like it was the most natural thing in the world. Third story, 2008. A 14-year-old girl starting high school. One Friday, she found a note taped to her locker, her name written on it with a heart around it. Inside, a love letter signed, "Your Secret Admirer." She thought it was a prank from friends and threw it away. 2 months later, after school picture day, one of her wallet-sized photos went missing from her locker. Then another note appeared, this time with that exact photo inside, a heart drawn around her face, and a message about how beautiful she looked at the recent football game, sitting in the grass with friends, laughing. Someone had been watching her. Soon after, strange knocking at her front door when she was home alone, no one there. A neighbor said he saw someone snooping around their trailer. Then one night, her mom found a dead rabbit nailed to their back porch. The next day at school, another note on her locker. She opened it, and a freshly cut rabbit's foot fell out onto the floor. She screamed. Teachers rushed over. Police got involved. She told them everything. They investigated, but no real suspects. Nothing major happened again, until halfway through junior year. One final type note, her secret admirer from freshman year. After that, silence. At least, nothing obvious. Last story. A guy taking a long solo road trip to visit his girlfriend at college. Late at night, exhausted, he pulled into the only motel around. A cheap, rundown place surrounded by woods. Room was basic, door opened straight to the parking lot. He turned off the lights and lay down. Less than a minute later, knock, knock, knock. He peeked through the curtains. A rough-looking man with long hair and a beard standing outside. He ignored it. The guy knocked again, then finally walked away. 30 minutes later, another knock. Different guy this time, hood up, dressed all in black. He actually tried the door handle. It was locked. He left. Another half hour, first guy came back. Knocked louder, stayed longer. Here's the thing. The room lights were off the whole time. TV was on low. From outside, it should have looked empty. How did they know someone was inside? No one came back after that. He barely slept and left at dawn. He still thinks about those two men, who they were, and what they wanted. He never found out. Long silence with faint wind sound. 4 real stories. 4 intruders who got way too close. And in every single one, we never learned their names. So tonight, before you go to bed, check your closet. Double-check your locks. And if someone knocks in the middle of the night, maybe don't answer. If you have a story like this, drop it in the comments. Until next time, stay safe out there.